Sounds good? Sounds good. Welcome to Overwatch. Well, I could do a kind of impromptu video. I just might as well do something like this where we're going to look at Busan. We're going to look at Busan like a tactical appraisal, almost. Like, I want to sort of go through the map and think about how the map functions and, like, what makes this map work, what makes this map tick. I'll tell you what I'll do as well. I'll hide this chat so that our chat is normal. So, yeah, it's like... How does Busan work? How does Busan function? So I've got a super speedy Reinhardt for obvious reasons. We also, we've got Diva's room. I'm guessing. If I want to go slow, I just do this, I guess. So this is the Meka base. Wow, I didn't see this spawn. They all have color-coded individual rooms and an air hockey table. So this is Overlord. Everyone's fangirling over these. This is Casino. This is King. This is Demon. Demon looks awesome. I want to play Demon, not Diva. And this is Diva. She has all of the trophies, and so she's got a branding, and she's got a branded bed, tiny bed. I mean, Diva is small, but Jesus. Like, look at the size of Reinhardt, look at the size of this bed. Good lord. And that's just a screen. Is that a win? No, that's just a screen. It's not actually a win. I mean, it makes sense. You're not going to have windows on the military base. So actually good job. Good job, Blizzard. Right. They have food and stuff like that. Okay, so let's actually put the super speed Reinhardt to bed for a second, because the thing I noticed about this map coming out is, like, the first map I saw when I looked at Busan first was taking a look at it and, like, going, huh. It was the temple map, and the temple map has really short sight lines, like, it's really, really small. This map, however, kind of shares some traits with the other map, which is that you have this. Right, you have this sort of huge main courtyard area with the point sort of sunken down in the middle of it, long sight lines, and the cover as well. Like, there's this little flashy light here. Oop, I don't want to take it just yet. You have this. Like, there's this light like flashes. It feels like every 30 seconds or something, and then the cover pops up and down. Now, to be honest, like, I saw some people speculating about this, and I think that you would never hold the point by holding the point anyway. So this doesn't make too much of a difference. Like, it opens up some of these sight lines, but you're never actually going to hold this point by just standing on this point. It's too exposed, you're too out in the open, you're too low down as well. Like, if the enemy just takes position up here and you're on the point or some shit, you are just going to get destroyed. There's too much cover to play with, like, all around the point. So this popping up and down is a little bit interesting, but it's only interesting more in the context of, hey, we're probably going to be playing from over here, you know, when you're trying to do, like, a retake, and you're probably going to be fighting, like, over the point like so. And fighting like this, right? Now, the one thing I will say for Widow, especially on this map, is that, like, it is extremely open, so you can definitely, like, Widow functions very well in the sort of little bits of cover, in pockets of cover that you can sort of flank round and peek round and sort of get angles and shots through, right? Lijiang Garden is a great example of this. There's lots of long sight lines, but there's also a lot of, like, sneaky cover that you can get. So, as Widow, I can, like, pop out here, and if the enemy's holding over here, well, I can get shots, but I can't actually get shots down there, for example. I'd have to go all the way through, like, over here to even see what's happening over there. So it's not as obvious of a Widow map as perhaps you would expect. She's definitely going to be, like, functional here. So, like, oh, I didn't actually notice this. Oh, this is spicy. This is really exposed, but my god, you can pop up here, get a couple of shots, and then probably just jump down and be safe. Yep. Nice safe angle. So when you're looking at a map like this one, like, what do you look for in a map? Where you think about, like, how do you position, how do you defend, how do you actually make this map function? Like, where in ideal circumstances would you play this map from? Because let's say you're stuck defending on point, you wouldn't actually be playing it, like, down here, for example. It's like you're gonna get knocked off, and you're gonna get spammed at from, like, all the high ground around here. So you're probably actually gonna be holding, and I really do think you're probably gonna be holding for, like, here, like in this space, because then you can easily move up here and contest up here. You can easily move this way. You have pillars for cover. Is there any health packs over here? There's no health. No, there's a health pack there. That's not too bad. You can even, like, play with your, like, Zen or something here and just sort of have cover on the team, have an angle to peek at, stuff like that. It should be fine. This is kind of an interesting map. Very, very open is what I would say. Let's cap it and finish up our assessment, because we still have to wait for it all to tick. So there we go. And it's a cool map. I like sort of the visuals of it at the very least. The very open point at least also means that it's not going to be like city center. It's not going to be contested for 3 weeks. It's actually going to be pretty straightforward. You have all the mechas. Apparently they did have Diva's mecha originally on the map. Like, you would expect it to be like here or something, you know. But it apparently was confusing players when you, like, turn the corner and you see, oh god, it's Diva! Ah, boom! And then, yeah. Some people said that why not have, like, an empty slot, you know? But I guess Diva just gets special attention. There's my girl Demon. Access denied. Feels bad, man. In terms of like that low ground area down there, I don't see it being played too much. You could definitely play around up here a little bit. It's definitely like an odd map in terms of normal control maps, but it's just like it's extremely open is how I will phrase this one. Like a lot of just long sight lines, not much cover. You can rotate around it pretty well. But at least, like, stuff like goats is probably going to struggle in this map, I would say. Like, because when you run in on goats, the enemy's just going to, like, move away from you and just spam and spam and spam and spam, and you're probably going to die. So it should be good for that. Probably a little bit bad for tanks. Pretty good for the other stuff. Her legs fold up into her bed like a mech. Otherwise, yeah, this, like, I like the visuals for this map. Like, I like Busan's visuals in general, and then you have, like, where the cinematic happened. This is a cool cinematic. Again, has the sort of problem, like, to me, the best parts of the cinematics is watching two characters interact and how two characters would interact in terms of flavor. So, not having, like, just having the single character with a side character attached isn't as interesting as having, say, Traitor and Widow fighting each other, or having Sombra, Reaper, and Widow doing a mission. You know, stuff like that where you get characters together and interacting, that's kind of more interesting to me. Hanzo and Genji, stuff like that, you know. I think that's where it really thrives, instead of having these very individual stories. And especially like the Mei cutscene, I think, you know, could have been better employed. But hey. When are we going to mode where they all combine into one large mecha? Who knows? The Mechazord. Next map is this one. Okay. So, with this map, if I said that goats didn't work on the previous map, this map is going to be goat central. Nothing will... Like, the sightlines and range on this map are so freaking short. There is, as far as I can tell, no long distance views. Actually, let's get an aerial view. Let's go with the Farah. The Fahara. The Fariha. So then you have like the mecha base, and you have like this very old temple with this really nice autumnal vibe. It's a very pretty map. But we got to consider it tactically more than anything, and you could see like the point. First and foremost, the point is tiny, right? The point is absolutely tiny. This is it. It's like this little forecourt area. You do have this big. You have this big drum that actually does bang when you hit it. It's just very kind of bassy and quiet. I missed it then. Lol. But yeah, the sightlines on this map seem super short. Super short. The skybox on this map, the skybox also on the city center is kind of weird. It's like, it is also very, very low. It's actually not, yeah, it's still kind of low. But yeah, like Tracer is going to be an absolute nightmare on this map. Goats is going to be an absolute nightmare on this map. Farah kind of works, but with the low sort of ceilings and with the low skybox, you can't really get super good vantage, but you could hold some chokes pretty well. So I think like if you can take first with Farah, like hold with Farah, you probably do okay with it. But this to me is like a Tracer map. This is a Tracer map, a Goats map, a tank map. It is very close combat. Here's King Kai's logo. It's been destroyed. There's another one over here. Don't know why King Kai is in Busan, but he is. That's my one weeb mention of the day. So this cool cat. I love this cat. It's the best. Let's give him a hat. Come on. Amazing! Yes, we've done the best thing ever. Okay. Yeah, like you could definitely see like teams, you know, this is another one of those maps where you're not going to hold from the point, right? You're going to be holding from like back here, and just like spamming down. Or even like holding close and just, but does holding close work here? Let's have a look. There's like, there's an angle here. I guess you could like play around the stone a little bit, but you'd probably be mostly like watching here and just holding this door. Holding like here and then sort of falling back as needed towards the point. Use this, then fall back, and sort of fight through this choke. So I'm guessing that's how you'll probably hold this map. And then, because it does give you a lot of sight lines. Like if you stand here, you have vision on the left side. They can't really sneak down there. You have vision on the right side as well, because you see they're coming through here. So you have vision everywhere. So I think holding here is probably going to be where you want to be, because you know what they're doing. You know where they're going, and that sort of information is very important in Overwatch. Of course, won't hold past this wall, because that's into spawn. They can just fight you from spawn, which is dangerous. So, yeah. Just very, very small. Very, very, like, close quarters. You feel cramped, and, oh, God, there's just not much space. Junkrat, yeah, it could work. I still probably go Fire instead, to be honest. But Junkrat could absolutely work on ladder. I'd just be surprised to see it at the higher levels. It's still a little bit too vulnerable. Junkrat usually works best when he has like a high ground point to spam into low ground. And this map is, of course, this is why I'm on red team, because this is the best Easter egg in the game. I'm gonna just like turn up the stream volume. There you go. Wrong button.
Watch me now. Ha ha ha! Look at me.
Why is it playing? It's so quiet. Why isn't the music playing? Is it because this is the background music? Let's wait for the background music to end. Go away, background music. We have karaoke to do. Gotta wait for like this intense. Oh, game started. Oh, intense music. Oh, there's a tambourine. And a very low texture. I'm on ultra, by the way. Come on. Yeah. Brr. Let's take a quick look at the map. The thing with this map is the skybox is super freaking low. Alright. There we go.
Sexy, sexy ride, huh? Oh yes. Here we go. Move your legs and move your arms. That is how we do the dance. You hammer down.
I don't know how well that's coming through, but yeah, it's like the best Easter egg in the game.
Oh, yes, hammer down. Oh, I love this.
So this is a map where you don't get to play a main tank, because your main tank will be playing Reinhardt, mashing F.
Look at me.
It is the best Easter egg that they have ever done, right? Aside from getting distracted with that. Yeah, like the thing with this map is the skybox is tiny, it feels like. Like, it feels like there's a lot of roofs that you should be able to land on, but there's like a lot of invisible walls as well that kind of just mess with you. Like, I'd like to see like these ceilings, instead of being like walls, just be sloped or something, you know? Because it feels really awkward, like you're flying as far and it's like you can't fly there. So you have to like come up here. Now, the thing with this map is that really grabbed me was how sunken down the control point is. The control point is down here in like this, the magnet rail train station. And it's really sunken down. Like when you first come out of this choke point, you expect like the control point to be like here or something, right? On normal maps, it'd be like in this area here. Instead, it's actually all the way down here. Now, what this means is, when I was first looking at this, I was like, huh, you know, this actually might be a really good Widow map, because you can, like, pop out and you can cover, like, this, but there's a nice little line of sight block with that thing. But you can still, like, cover some of the choke points here. But then I realized, well, the point's down there, and, like, you can't actually get line of sight on the point. Like, all this thing here blocks line of sight. So it actually makes it a lot more complicated than what you would expect, because the control point, like, most control point maps, it's very, very linear. Only a few of them have like these points that are kind of split off from the rest of the map, so you can, I think, come down through here as well, through this low ground, and sort of play like a close range sort of thing. But yeah, I found that really interesting. Like, you have this very open up top high ground with like areas up here where you're like looking down, but in terms of actually controlling the point, controlling up here is interesting at the very least. Like, it's very, very secondary, because you have to take control of the point, obviously. It's in the clues in the name, right? It's a control point map. So I found that really, 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 really goddamn fascinating. There is something I really want to try, which is, does the train kill? So the tracks definitely kill you. I've tested that one out myself. There's the Meka base, by the way. I want to know if the train actually kills me. So we're going to wait for a train. Come on. Come on. Way! Way! It does kill you. So yeah, the fact that the point is so sunken down and low makes it very, very unusual in terms of like, well, you can't just cover the point with a Widowmaker, right? That's not going to work on its own. I think Farah will actually be surprisingly good on this map though, just because there are a lot of places where you can sort of easily just poke and spam rockets down to the ground. Farah is always going to be very good at that, so naturally Widowmakers might come out to play just to sort of deal with the Farah. Because if you can get like a Farah set up here, you can easily bounce back and forth and start firing some rockets in, or you just sort of come around the back of the point and fire some rockets down from the back of the point. So Farah is definitely, I think, going to be a big factor on this one. Tracer as well could be a big pain in the ass. Just so many corners. Like Tracer likes maps where she can sort of come out, shoot, and then hide away within another couple of blinks. You can land on the train's roof. Wow. Okay. Well, I know what I'm trying for the last sort of 30%. To do this with a grappling hook is going to be difficult. No! Oh, feels bad, man. Almost did it. No, the train is gone at that point. Feels bad, man. Oh, I tried. Widowmaker doesn't have a karaoke voice line, by the way. I've tried. Yeah, Busan, it feels like it's going to be very good for like Tracer, very good for Farah players, somewhat good for Widows, somewhat good, definitely good for Hanzo as well. Like Hanzo could be very potent on this point. So yeah, definitely stuff to keep an eye on. And Goats is probably going to ruin and destroy the temple constantly. Goats, I think, will be immovable on that map because you can just... The way you beat Goats is you sort of spam at it and you out-rotate it and you move away from it. But when there's so many blind corners and you can just... Is play of the game really me putting a hat on this cat? How did Blizzard... Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. But hopefully by the time this hits live, maybe there'll be a patch and Goats will be nerfed. Hopefully. Hopefully. We'll try it out. Let's try it out. Let's put the theory to the test. Otherwise, this has been like a super short video, just to whack it on the channel. Because yeah, it's an interesting map. We're getting a new map finally, and hey, there we go. Save that. Yep, greatest play of the game. The control point on the temple is tiny. It is tiny. It's insane. But the thing with Goats is it doesn't matter how small it is. You just fight, you win, you kill everything, and then you take the point, and then you don't care anymore. So like you kind of want that, right? You want them moving into that small space. Okay, thank you for watching, guys. Bye. There we go. YouTube's gone. Let's try a couple of randos.